Welcome to the Jill on Money Show. It's Wednesday, June 4th, and we are here answering your financial questions. We do so with a little bit of a hint of a sense of humor. So often we are all human beings. We get paralyzed by decisions and uncertainty. And if that's you, if you feel sort of stuck and you don't know what to do next, and it's a life decision, and you have something that is remotely associated with a dollar in some way, shape, or form, get in touch with us. Go to jillonmoney.com, click the contact us button, write us a note. Now, when you write the note, if it's going to be an email, give us a bunch of detail. If not, then just forget all the detail, check the box, give us like a one-line description and say, I want to come on the show. And then Mark will do everything else. While you're on the website, check out all of the content that lives there. We've got a blog. We've got another podcast. It's called Money Watch, and you should subscribe to that because we release that on the weekends. Good tune-up for you. A little bit of a back to basics podcast. So you should check that out. Money Watch drops on Saturdays and Sundays. We've got a free weekly newsletter. All of that is to say, we also want you to spend your hard-earned dollars on us. Subscribe to the Jill on Money live service, $45 the next 12 months, and you get 4 webinars, as well as bonus audio and video content and all the back catalog of all the stuff we've done. $45 for 12 months. Next up, you ready for this? Tomorrow night, Mike Quincy. He's the car expert of Consumer Reports. Tomorrow at 7 Eastern time. He will be joining us, and it's going to be a blast. We are going to pepper him with questions about what to buy, when to trade in, when you should upgrade, what kind of car you should get for your kids, all that fun stuff. So if you have not signed up for Jill on Money Live yet, do so, and we'll get you a spot. It's very fun. Okay, speaking about a spot, next up, the next spot is occupied by listener Matt, who joins us from Ohio. Hi, Matt. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. How about yourselves?
Doing great. What can we do for you?
Well, I called to see if you guys had any advice on how to deal with my wife's upcoming partial lump sum of pension, which is a year from now.
Okay, so why is she getting a partial lump sum?
It's an option.
Oh, okay.
She could take the straight up, and then if within Ohio they give you an absolutely absurd number of options in terms of how you can take your pension over time. We'll do 100% survivorship, which is what I have through Kentucky. But then they give you this partial lump sum where you can take a portion of the total amount they gave you or you put in over time out as an IRA, a direct rollover to an IRA before you start getting monthly payments. And it reduces your monthly payment accordingly to how much you take out as a PLOP.
Let's talk a little bit about you guys, and then let's work backwards. Because I know sometimes I've looked at these pension options as well, and you're right. They're always like, well, we do this. We get the partial lump sum. We have 100% survivorship, 75%, 50% survivorship, 25%, then 0%. And so it's a lot. It's dizzying. Yeah. Maybe we can work backwards about who you guys are, where you are in your lives, and then we'll reverse engineer what you need to do. Okay. So first of all, Matt, how old are you?
I'll be 57 in a couple months.
Are you retired? Because you just said you had a pension?
I retired from my day job a couple years ago, but I still have to work because it's not a full pension.
Okay. What's your pension amount?
$35.80 a month for life, 100% survivorship.
Okay. And how much are you earning in your job?
It's between 60 and 90K.
That's a big range.
Yeah, it's really not something I have a whole lot of control over. It's private employment, contract work, that kind of thing.
Okay.
And another $15K from a part-time job.
So essentially this $3,600 a month pension, are you just banking that right now?
That's going to the daily stuff. I'm banking the other income.
Okay. So the pension, and your wife is how old?
She's 55.
And is she still working?
She'll work for another year, yeah.
And so we're talking about her pension. What does she earn right now?
About $110,000.
So you make whatever, $225-ish, right? Does the pensions pay most of your bills? Are you telling me that you spend $3,600 a month?
No, we spend quite a bit more than that.
How much do you spend? I like that. No, I'm sorry. Thank you very much. We spend a lot more.
We're rolling around $10,000 a month at this point.
Okay.
And we've got one adult kid that we're still supporting to some level for a bit longer.
Okay.
Hoping that ends soon.
Okay. She'll leave in a year, and then she'll have a pension amount. I know she's got lots of options, but if we were to just look at her pension amount And it was just a 100% survivor benefit. What would that amount be for her?
61.38 a month.
And would you continue to work?
I will work as long as I can. I don't know that I'll work, 100% as I am now until I need my hands, my eyes, and my head. Once one of those steps go, I'm done.
I like that. Well, I mean, if she retires, it seems to me that, I mean, I know, it's not exact, but it's what I just did a rough, $9,700 a month. So that's pre-tax. I understand, but like, that's pretty good. You're pretty close. Just 2 pension checks kind of reach your needs.
Yeah.
What about, again, not doing the partial lump sum of the pension right now, but what other money have you set aside in terms of other retirement savings?
Together, when she retires, she will have around $300,000, primarily in traditional. It's a 403B now, but we'll roll that into a traditional. And I'd say 10% of that is Roth.
Okay. And what about you?
Right now, about 250,000 in Roth and traditional, and that's 150. That is Roth.
Okay. Any money in just plain old like brokerage accounts?
310 in brokerages, and then 115 in inherited IRA and Roth. We've got 7.5 years on that clock.
Okay, got it. You own your home?
Yes.
How much is it worth? About
$350 at this time.
Do you owe any money on it?
Yes, we've got a 15-year mortgage at 2 7/8. We owe $72,000 on it.
Any other real estate?
No.
The adult kid.
Yep.
When you said about 10 grand a month, is that with helping the adult kid?
Yes. I'm hoping that in the next year we will be stabilized at around $8,500 a month.
But let's say it's 10.
That's
anyway.
fine. Yeah.
Why not, right?
Because the higher, the more we can travel.
Exactly right. So what about healthcare? Will you receive that because she is an educator? Will you have healthcare until you reach your Medicare years?
I am covered completely by my retirement out of Kentucky. She has to pay for it out of her pension. So we just figured that up. It's about $350 a month.
Oh, that's cheap though.
Until Medicare.
Okay, so I'm like working through the numbers. So when you said the $61.38 a month for your wife, is that the amount that would be reduced if you did this partial lump sum?
No, that's before the PLOP, and the PLOP has a range to make things more confusing. The minimum, if we did the minimum PLOP, it would drop her down to $58.70 a month.
Okay. That's
a $41,000 PLOP. The maximum she could do is a $235,000 PLOP. This drops the monthly down to $4,600.
Okay. How do you feel about having this it's just weird because the actual 2 pension amounts kind of cover your needs as you outlined them.
Yep.
And so the only difference is, I'm sure that someone can interpret the math better than I on the fly, but the big difference is that you would take a haircut to this amount, you'd get some money out, just some lump sum that you would add to your pile of other money, the 300 in her deferred comp, the 250 that you have, you would have instead of, 3, 6, 7, 8, instead of having like 950,000, maybe you'd have $1 million. But under the way that you just outlined it to begin with, it sounds like all your needs are met, basically.
Yes, agreed. The concern that she has, and this is with a fair number of retirees out of the Ohio system, is that their system is not sustainable. At some point, they're not going to be able to cover this. I personally don't worry about that. It's too big of a question for me to address. It's a legitimate concern, and I understand where she's coming from. So she preferred to take a larger amount of a PLOP. She's definitely going to take something.
Okay.
There's no question about that. How much is a real question. And at the extreme end, the way I figured it out, it could potentially, if we take the biggest PLOP, it drops our monthly income down to around or just under the 15% federal tax rate. So we'd go from 22 to 15.
Yeah, but you'd have more money that you have invested that would create income anyway. And you need to create some income, right? You would need to do that. Look, my feeling about that is that it's not usually the issue with someone who's retired. The pension problems are often the younger people's problem. I think it would be highly unlikely that she would retire and then they'd say, just kidding. You don't get your $6,100 a month. We're going to make it $4,100. That's not usually how these pension plans work. They pay out the existing benefits and the young people get penalized. That's usually. But let's just pretend she wants this.
Yep.
She wants some money. So if you said the maximum would be that she gets $235,000 up front, right? And then the mortgage, the pension amount drops to $4,600, right? That's where we end up.
Correct.
Okay. So now we have her 46, your 36. And now we have a bunch of money that's coming in, your $7,000, $7,200 a month, right? You have the money that is in the inherited IRA that you will be pulling out over time because you have 7 years to get that out. So maybe you would use that also, right? Because a little bit at a time. And that gets you close to, for at least for the next few years, gets you the money you need to fund your cash flow. Then after that, what's the next thing that we would have to do is we'd have to bridge you to Social Security. And then we would say, well, let's pull some money out of your traditional retirement accounts, both of you, or the deferred comp and whatever traditional accounts you have. Again, pulling that out slowly but surely over those years until you claim Social Security. And I think all the numbers work. I think that what you're saying to me is it doesn't matter what's mathematically better. Your wife wants to feel like she has some of her money out of that system. That is the risk she's scared of, right?
Yes.
So let's do it.
Okay.
Why are we messing around with it? Why shouldn't we make her happy? Isn't she entitled to be made happy? It's probably an overthinking of it. But again, you have other assets. You'll be able to do this. What's your Social Security benefit look like at your full retirement ages?
She will not be eligible because of Ohio's goofy system.
What's yours?
Mine is 3,200 at 7 years old.
Okay. I think you'll be fine.
Okay.
I really do. And also, if she really is all freaked out about this pension system, she can, if she'd like, just keep working.
True. Yeah, I think she probably is going to say, give it a year and say, I need to do something.
Okay.
And that's fair.
I think so.
She may not ever want to go back into doing what she's doing now, which I understand.
I get that. But it sounds like you're really okay. I think that we've overestimated your expenses just with the kid stuff, but which will go away. But let's presume it doesn't for the first few years. Fine. So what? What if it doesn't go away, right? Then you can do it. Because we know that you guys have some assets to tap. You yourself are also still working. When you work and you're socking your money away, where are you putting that money? In a brokerage account?
My plan is I fund my wife's Roth out of my mother's inherited money.
Yeah, but you have to pay tax on it, of course.
Yes, I'm taking it out,
yes.
And I put that right into her Roth. It's as much as she'll work. If she doesn't work $8,000 a year, it'll be less, whatever. Same with me. Roth is first, and after that, it's going into a brokerage. And I'm a pretty active investor. Mm-hmm. I've got a pretty good handle on how to kind of sustainably keep it going.
Okay.
I look at $1 million down the line as around $4,000 a month if we need it.
That's perfect. Yeah. And also, and I'm not sure you're going to need it, but I do think because you're going to have income that you've got, so you pull the money out of the inherited IRA, that's fine. So you put her 7 in. But when you're ready to pull money out of accounts to fund this lower amount of pension that she is choosing, her lower PLOP, right?
Yep.
So meaning higher upfront but lower payment amount, that you're pulling from the pre-tax, the traditional accounts first. That's what we want to do, right?
Yeah.
So you pull that out, and all that other money that you are earning, that's 60 to 90 grand, your 15,000 of, whatever, part-time, it'll start to go down over time. But that by the time you are getting towards, if you do that for 10 years, if you do that for 5 years, you're really going to be in good shape, and you're going to keep building up your brokerage account, and you're not spending that much money. And even if the kid takes 3 more years to launch, you're okay. You're okay. I mean, everyone listening, when you have these pension conversations, the question is a good one, which is, can the state, can the municipality, can the organization afford to actually pay out the promised benefits? If the answer is no, Then what you're forced to do is say, well, okay, what would that do to me? So again, like I said, it usually does not impact the people who have already received benefits. I think the state of Rhode Island did something once that really they had a little city or municipality that was like, hey, firemen, we're cutting your pension. But like, that's a very rare instance. But if she's wigged out by it, why not grab that money? She'll get her $235,000. You'll add it to your brokerage account. Now you got $500,000 and you're still working and you're adding money to it. So I think the plan works. I really do.
Either way.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough.
So when it works for either way, then we do peace of mind comes first. Okay.
Good answer. I appreciate it.
All right. Man.
Yeah, spot on.
We wish you the very best. Keep us posted. And if you are given some options about how to receive funds, or you're just thinking about the future, or you're a young person and you're just starting out and you don't know whether, a lot of plans, they are now allowing you to choose whether or not to participate in a pension plan. Give us a holler. Go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, write us a note, and if you'd like to join us live, check the box. We'll do everything else. Mark does it all. He's the best. While you're on the website, don't forget to sign up for the free weekly newsletter. You can subscribe to us on the Odyssey app or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Try to do something nice for someone else today. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you tomorrow.